What time do you have until?
For like an hour and a half.
Okay. By the way, Olivia did say, but Callie will be gone by the time we have to get up. I said, we will see him again.
He will come on another day.
Yes.
When the sun rises, please.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm worn a little bit. You see the nose? No, I thought maybe you could see nose marks from wearing sunglasses. We did not get the balloons down, but that was intentional. We thought we'd leave them there for after nap time. Oh my goodness. How's it going? It's going okay. It's going, I mean, it's like great to be here and all. It's a little intense. Oh gosh. It's one of those things where I think a lot of people in Slovenia think that us coming to America is a vacation when it is anything but a vacation. I mean, do you ever really go on a vacation with 3 children? Not really, but that's I just say it's intense. It's really good. It's amazing being here, seeing everybody, getting to spend time with people, family. It's just like last night I fell asleep at 8 o'clock, 8:30 or something. Did I tell you? And you weren't even here.
No.
I went to put the kids to bed and I literally just fell asleep like laid next to you and I was just out. I probably fell asleep before he did. I did wake up at 5 in the morning. I feel like I need to put this up somehow because this is just.
Here, I'll get you box.
It's either. Oh, you know what? I use that thing. There we go. That's what I'll do. I'll just sit here. I'll sit here. No. Oh yeah. No. That's good. Cause I'm like too far away on that side.
What? Oh no, that's all the lighting you can have.
We turn off. Oh, never mind.
Oh wait, there's those. Do those work? Why are there lights?
Oh yeah, there are. No, it's okay. You know why? Because they'll do like a raccoon shadow.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
This is the first time Isaac has been in America. Yes. So this is the first time. My mom came to Slovenia about a year ago, and other than that, this is the first time all of my family is getting to meet him in real life. Which is very cool, very special. This is the first time I've got to meet my niece and my nephew. So it's just all around really special. Somebody, bless the person who did this, wrote a comment on one of my videos and said, Mariah, you seriously need to make another video. I was like, yeah, I don't even remember when was the last time. It's been really insane. So, okay, we'll get into it. Basically, we had been planning this trip for a while. We buy tickets. Probably, when did we buy tickets? A month and a half in advance? Somewhere around there. Probably 3, maybe almost 4 weeks before we're supposed to fly out. We suddenly we go read the current mandates and restrictions because they're changing all the time, so it almost doesn't make sense to read them too soon before you travel because they're going to change again. But we go to read them and it's like they said basically for traveling into the United States you have to be fully vaccinated, which means you have to have 2 vaccinations plus X amount of time, or you have to have like one of the single doses plus X amount of time. So we've all had COVID more than once. So in Slovenia, when you get COVID, you go get a positive test, and then you get, basically you got like a certificate that was equal to being vaccinated. So Luka not being vaccinated is not allowed into the US because he's not a US citizen. So constitutionally, they can't require US citizens to vaccinate. And his visa is not an immigrant visa. So if you have an immigrant visa or your immigrant status or an American citizen, you can enter the US unvaccinated. So the only one that he would have been able to take or get in order to be considered fully vaccinated was one of the single doses. However, the single dose, before they give it to you, they make you sign a waiver saying that there are higher risks associated with this and that you understand you are at a higher risk of adverse effects. And should you get any adverse effects, you are not going to sue them. This doesn't instill confidence. So it just wasn't worth it to us, honestly, the risk. And in the end, we canceled our tickets the day before we were supposed to leave. So we canceled our flights and got a refund for them. The next day, well, and this is the other frustrating thing, Europe has no more restrictions regarding traveling. So there is no more required testing, masking, or vaccinations required for traveling within Slovenia, outside, and pretty much all of Europe now. So it's like, if you are a US citizen, you come into Europe, you don't need to test and you don't need to vaccinate at all. So it just makes it all the more frustrating that the US is still doing this. I'm giving you the real brief version because we poured, I know like so many people would say, oh, but if you did this, or well, what if you did you think of it? Like, trust me when I say we did everything we possibly could have, other than filing for a green card, because he doesn't have a green card because we just didn't think it was necessary because he has a visa that allows him access. Anyway, so we canceled our flights because we thought about me and the kids going, but our flights were, our tickets were for a trip that was almost 4 weeks. And it's just too long. It's too long. 4 weeks is too long for me to travel with the kids by myself. 4 weeks is too long for the kids to be away from Luka. 4 weeks is 4 weeks apart is a significant dent in your relationship. It's tough. So we just decided that we couldn't do it. So we canceled the tickets, got a refund. And then they say on the refund, it'll take 1 to 3 months to process. So we thought maybe, because here's the thing, the vaccine mandates, travel restrictions for the US were supposed to expire on March 18th. They didn't expire, and they extended them to April 18th. And then on April 14th, they extended them again. The funny thing is, the White House extended the masking mandate to like May 11th. And immediately afterwards, TSA said, we're no longer going to enforce masking. Just like, we're all done with this. So then I think the White House said like it was optional, but recommended. So like we're sorry, people are saying things for now. Traveling has restrictions removed. Yeah, everybody's so excited. Everybody is so happy we're done with this. So we refunded our tickets. They said it was going to take this time. So then we thought maybe we can get, reschedule our tickets for a couple weeks from now. Maybe we can do it till after May 11th and see if the US drops their restrictions, because all of Europe has dropped their restrictions. So the next day, the day we canceled our flights the night before. The day we were supposed to fly out, we called. We waited for 45 minutes on the line to be told that they can't help us. We have to call this person. So Luka calls them, and I've kind of just accepted that we're not going, and it's really hard, and it's just what it is. So I say, you know what? I'm just going to go to the center to get the few gifts I wanted to get before leaving, because maybe we'll go in a couple weeks or whatever, but I just don't want to need to go. So I get in the car. I don't really feel like going anywhere. I'm feeling pretty depressed at that point. I just think it'll probably be good for me. So I'm on my way to the center, and Luka calls me, and he says, I finally got through. They can refund my ticket, and they can schedule you and the kids so that you would leave at the same time. Your departure would be the same, but then you would come back on the 8th instead of the 18th. And I just need to know what you think about that. And I said, I'll do it. It did not take me much time to deliberate. So I said, I'll do it. And so he said, okay, I'll call them and confirm. So I'm on my way to the center. I go, okay, I guess we're leaving tomorrow. Yeah, sorry. 2 days before we were supposed to take off, we canceled. And then the day before, we realized we're going to go. So then I'm kind of processing this. Oh my gosh, we're going to actually go. And I'm on my way to the center to get gifts. This is great. I'm just going to take my time. I'm not going to stress myself out too much. I don't need to worry about packing that much. I'll be fine. Before I get to the center, Luka calls me again. Where are you right now? I'm still on my way to the center. You have to go get the kids right now and go get tested. And I go, okay. Well, Leia is on a field trip with her kindergarten, so she's not even going to be back until sometime between 2:30 and 3:30. So I can't go get them, but we have to have to fly into the US, we have to get a test. Now, the CDC says you need to have, I'm pretty sure it says a PCR. You need to be tested, a PCR test that's within 24 hours of your flight into the US. So we had a flight from 10:50 from Ljubljana to Zurich, and then our flight from Zurich to America was at 1 p.m. So we needed to have a test that was after 1 p.m. because if it was more than 24 hours, it didn't count anymore. This is what it says. This is what we're told. So then I get to the center. There's parking right in front. I park. The only time I've never, literally the only time I haven't ever paid for parking. I always pay for parking. There's a parking space in front. I park. I get out. I run to the center. I go to the one store. I go to the other store. I go to the other store. I get what I need, and I run back to my car. It took me 20 minutes maybe. I was so out of breath by the time I got to the car. I get in the car, I start driving, and I have like anxiety while I'm driving. Just a lot of, I don't know, emotions, a lot of struggling, a lot of everything. And I get back to the house. I eat something. I have to sew my baby carrier because it's so torn from carrying 3 kids. So I'm stitching it and getting that done because I know I don't have a stroller. I don't have a small stroller, so I'm going to put Isaac in the baby carrier. I'm going to have the backpack. This is how I travel with kids. I have the baby in the front pack. I have my backpack on my back. And then I have my arms free for tickets and passports and holding kids' hands. That's just how I do it. So I get that stitched up, and then I need to go get Olivia and the kids and go get us all tested. So I get to Olivia. She thinks that we're not going because we had told them in that morning that we couldn't go, which was literally one of the hardest things I've ever had to tell my kids. So I pick her up and I tell her we're going to America. Luka is not coming with us, but we need to all go get tested. So I get her. I go to get Isaac. He's still asleep. Leia's not back from her trip, so I wait. Leia finally gets back and I say, okay, we gotta go. We gotta go get tested to go to America. Leia completely shuts down. Getting tested is her biggest fear. She got tested once when she was sick. She was negative, but she absolutely, it's the worst thing ever. So I get all the kids. I get them in the car. Luka sends me the address of the place I need to go. My phone has 3% battery. I'm like, oh my gosh. No, I get there. I tell them what I need. They say, okay, you need to scan this QR code and enter everyone's information. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to do this? Like, I have 3 kids. I have 1% battery on my phone. There's no way. And they say, okay, we'll help you. You can use our phones to do it. Like, God bless you. Thank you. The kids are crying. Leia's freaking out already. I'm just like, this is not fun. And then I ask them something along the lines of, what if they have AIMSHO, which is like Slovenian tax ID? It's kind of like your social security number, but it's just like your ID number for each person. And they said, oh, well, if you have AIMSHO, then you don't need that. Wait, do you have insurance card? I said, yes, which I had already told them. I said, yes, we have insurance, but we'll be paying for this. Like, it's not like we were sent here. Who have you most enjoyed seeing? Why, my friend Zach, I've most enjoyed seeing so far on this trip. So anyway, we all get tested. And Leia, I almost have to sit on her to like get her tested. She's freaking out. I have this moment like, okay, like she goes completely AWOL. And then we bring it back and they were really kind and she survived and we all managed. They say, when do you need this for? I ask Luka, when do I need the test results for the first flight? He says, no, because traveling within Europe, they don't need tests. You just need it for your flight into America. I go, okay. So they said, oh, we'll give you your test results at 4 p.m. tomorrow. I said, no, my flight is at 1. They said, okay, we'll send them at 12. And I was like, I need them at 11. Thinking just to be safe. Our first flight is at 10:50. Okay. So they said, great, we'll send them to you at that time. So we go have ice cream to recover from the horrible trauma of getting tested. Pack, wake up the next day. Thank goodness we have like a normal, semi-normal morning. It's not so rushed. We get to the airport and she says, I can't check you in unless you have your test results. And we go, but we don't need them in flight. She said, yes, but I can't check you in all the way to San Francisco. Like, I can't check your bags all the way to San Francisco unless I can see your test results. She's like, she's like, I am so sorry. I know this is like ridiculous. I just have to, like, this is what I have to do. And I'm like, that's just how it is. So we call the testing facility. There's no way they can give us the test results before 11 o'clock. The flight is at 10:50. The last check-in time possible, like before they close check-in, 10:15. So what we end up doing, oh, and then we find out, you don't actually need a PCR. The $360 I spent, euros, 360 euros I spent for PCRs, you don't actually need to do. You just need a quick test. You just need the most basic test. The one that costs like $10. Oh, and then I found out that if you have that certificate that says you were already 6, you don't actually need to be tested. So Olivia and I had that, so we didn't need to go get tested. But Leia and Isaac did not have that. So I have just told Leia, I promised her she does not need to be tested again. And now I'm having to tell her she does have to go get tested. There's no testing at the airport. So Luka finds the closest quick test, which is in Kran, and he takes Leia and Isaac and rushes them to this quick test. And Olivia and I are just waiting there, praying that they get back before 10:15. It's 9:45, and I tell Luka, please, like, send me a picture of the results so that she can see them and check us in. he takes the kids. He explains the situation. They were extremely helpful and gracious. That's all I'll say about that. He gets back 5 minutes to 10. We check in. We go up to security. We're waiting in line. Security's taking forever. The kids are miserable. We said goodbye to Luka. And I'm just like, we did not come all this way to not make the flight because we're in security. Like, we're gonna be fine. We were the second to last people on the flight. We fly from Ljubljana to Zurich. We get to Zurich and we have to run. Like, thank goodness Olivia and Leia are so competent, because we had to, like, we just made the little tram. The tram was literally, as we were walking down the stairs, I see the sign, like, it was like 5 seconds to arrival. It arrives. And I'm like, girls, can we run? Can we make it? So both of them, thank goodness, like, run with me. We make it to the tram. It takes us around to whatever terminal side we need. And then we go, okay, what's our gate? We look for our gate. We find our gate. It is the furthest possible corner from where we are. So we run. We have to go through passport control. We get that done. We run. Get to the passport check where you get the stamp on your tickets for going into America. And then we get, again, run to the end. And we get there with like less than 10 minutes before we start boarding. It was so intense. Oh my gosh, I'm like tired of just telling the story. Like, oh. The good thing is, the kids were really good on the flight. We each had our own seat. We were all like, 4 of us in one row together. The flight was not full, but there was like, so annoying. People who are not flying together with someone else, they will just all spread out. So you have these people who are traveling alone, and then they take all of the free seats and spread themselves out. It's just like, this seems wildly unfair. Anyway, we're in the very back of the plane, obviously. And so we get all seated and situated, and the kids have their little, like, this is the one time, oh my goodness, this is one time that I'm like, whatever you want to watch or play on the iPad, I don't care. Like, you're strapped to this really uncomfortable seat. At least be distracted. I had a small book with myself. I had a small book with me called The Dark Night of the Soul. It's like this wide. It's so tiny. I'm thinking I could totally read all of this on the flight. I think I read the introduction plus 3 pages. It's like, just every 2 minutes somebody's having a meltdown over something. But it was okay. It was all right. And then I told them they needed to stop and sleep after we'd eaten. You have like one meal and a snack and then another meal. They said, okay, it's time to sleep, because we were arriving in San Francisco at 4 p.m. So 4 in the afternoon. And I really, really wanted us to land and then like have a nap before going, so that when we land, they're like a little bit rested, they have time, and then we go to bed. I'm trying to, like, in my head work out the easiest route or path out of jet lag. I basically had to like strong arm the kids into falling asleep, and Isaac was so miserable. I could not get him to fall asleep. I put him in the carrier. He's screaming, so he wants to be down, so I put him down. He won't lay down. And I'm just like, when you have kids, you just know when your kids need to sleep. And you know that if they don't, like, they're just miserable. They're not gonna like, oh, okay, I guess you won't sleep. Let me just put something on for you. They watch 3 seconds of it, and then they're distracted with it, and they want something else, and then they hate that, and then they want something else. It's just never ending like that. So you know they need to sleep. Finally, I try. I think maybe if I wrap him in the blanket really tight and cozy, it'll help him fall asleep. I do that, and he immediately has a panic attack, just like, ah! I go, okay, I guess that's not going to work. So then I put the baby carrier on. I put him back in, and I start walking around. And his new thing is he says, ow, for everything. So if it annoys him, it's out. If he doesn't like it, it's out. It's for everything. So I have him in the carrier. And I start walking back and forth, and he's, ow, ow! And the stewardesses and stewards are all in the back with little windows, like, or curtains shut. And one of the stewardesses pokes her head out and asks me, is everything okay? I said, he's fine, he's just tired. And he's like, ow, ow! So then he finally falls asleep. It doesn't take him too long because he is so tired. He falls asleep, and then I stand with him in the plane for 5 hours. Because the girls fall asleep and stretch out so much that I can't lay him down, and there's nowhere to lay him down. And I tried to like scoot next to Leia because I was so tired to sit down, and he immediately starts crying. So I get up and walk with him to make him fall back asleep. So after 5 hours, maybe it was like 4.5, I don't know, I noticed there's a guy in a row all to himself. So I sit in that row at the other end, and I lean back, and I just immediately pass out for about an hour. And I wake up, and I put Isaac down, and he stays asleep. He is so out at this point. And it's about an hour and a half before we land. So I go back to our seats. I start cleaning everything up. I get out my backpack. I unpack, repack all the things that I need, because I know, like, once we get there, we're just gonna go. Like, I don't want to try to clean up and pack and make sure we didn't miss anything when we land, because it's always chaos when we land. So I get all the kids. I clean everybody's. Which it was. I didn't even mention this. Isaac kicked over his food tray, fell on the ground, spilled his food on his blanket. There was lots of things that happened in the meantime. So the kids are super asleep because for them it's like the middle of the night. But anyways, I eventually wake Isaac up to get him in our seats. The girls wake up. They're totally miserable. He's totally miserable. We flew with Swiss Air. I have never had such enjoyable stewards and stewardesses in my life. Swiss Air, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know, the worst thing when you're traveling with kids is when you have stewards or stewardesses that are really anal and just, you have to do this, you have to do this. And they give you no grace or understanding that you're traveling with children. Swiss Air employees were so wonderful. One stewardess said, like, okay, just so you know, when we're landing, he needs to be sitting up. He was laying on my lap. He was buckled, but he was laying on my lap. She said, just so you know, he needs to be sitting up, and he needs to have his buckle like tight because that's safest. But you have a little time. I'll come back and remind you. I'm going to say she forgot. I think it was intentional because she knew she needed to tell me this, but she also was like, we don't care because we know it's hard and you're going to be fine. I'm totally assuming that. Please, anybody, don't get Swiss Air in trouble, because literally it was the best experience of my life. I was just like, oh, you can't imagine what a difference that makes. I've been on flights where I've had my sleeping child, my sleeping baby on me, and they're like, oh, sorry, you have to wake them up and put on this stupid seatbelt. And you're just like, really? Really? Or, oh, the seatbelt light came on. You're going to have to wake up your child to put the seatbelt on. Really? Like, people like that, I'm always like, you either don't have children, or it's been so long since you've had children you don't remember, or you never flew with children. Anyway, we landed, and we were so set to go. It was great. We disembarked. It was great. Isaac was very unhappy. We went through the terminal as quickly as we could. We got to the passport check, and I was so grateful. I'm sorry to all the visitors, but it was like, U.S. citizens? And I said, yeah. She said, welcome back, which felt really sweet and good. And we go in, we scan all our passports in the kiosk, and then we get a little like paper. We go to the front of the line. There's literally no one else in line. the security guy at the front says, okay, just give me your papers. He says, that's it, you can go. And I look over the visitor side, there's like 200 to 300 people waiting to go through. And there's, I was so happy. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. So we go through, we get our bags. Now I have 2 large suitcases and 2 car seats with me. So I have Olivia push one of the suitcases, and then I take one car seat and balance it on top of one suitcase, and then I hold the other car seat in my other hand, and I was like, at least it's not that far. I was gonna get like a trolley thing for all the luggage, but in San Francisco, they're $8. And I was just, I don't know, my frugal self just couldn't do it. I could not justify $8 to walk like 200 meters. It was so stupid. So we got out the doors. There was Grandma, there's my mom. She helped us, she packed us all up, and it just felt so good to get out and finally be there, be with someone you know, not have like so much weight on me, get the kids in the car. Okay, I'm free, I'm independent. Like in some ways, we get in the car, we drive about an hour, we stop at In-N-Out, which is, oh my gosh, it's like my favorite. In-N-Out burger. We get burgers, the kids are so happy. We get in the car, and the next 2 hours was like just awful. It's like that last leg that just makes you feel like you never want to do this again. And the kids were just nitpicking and quarreling and bickering the whole time. And she touched me and she looked at me. And so finally, pretty much all of us passed out in the car. We got back to my parents' house at 8 p.m., which was a really good time to get back. It wasn't too long. I mean, it wasn't too late. Because there's been times we arrive at like 5 in the morning, or we arrive at like midnight. So 8 p.m. was great. The kids woke up, they saw Grandpa and Auntie and everything, and they ran around for a couple hours. Then we went to bed at 10:30, 11, and they slept really well. Oh, I totally forgot about Clay. Mom had asked me to take him out, and I completely forgot. Thank goodness someone else did. So anyway, yeah, we've just been battling jet lag ever since. Last night was the best night so far. Previous night, it was like Leia woke up at 3. And then the other kids woke up at 4. You have to tell them they have to lay there. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's so difficult. First night, everybody woke up. Maybe it was the second night. Everyone woke up at 1:30 in the morning because they were all hungry. So then thank goodness we still had snacks from traveling. So I pull out the little snacks. We have a little heater in the room that looks like a fireplace. So we all like sit around the fireplace eating our snacks. Olivia says, how about I get everyone's blanket and we tell stories? So very cute. Honestly, the moment, or just like the memory of everyone sitting together in front of this little fire eating snacks in the middle of the night was really nice. It was like very sweet. And I was also like, this is adorable, and I hope it never happens again, because I've got to sleep through the night. So last night I went to put the kids to bed, and I fell asleep with them at 8:30, and then woke up around 5. So feeling better. Isaac did wake up because he fell off the bed. Always something. Okay, how long are you staying in America? So we're here for 2 weeks and change. We go down to San Diego this weekend. We were spending a couple days down there. My 2 brothers live down there, and we're just gonna all go down there, go to the beach. We have an Airbnb, and I'm really excited because it's literally my whole family, and we're all gonna go there. We're all gonna be on vacation together for a few days, which is so nice, really, really nice. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Hello from Tudi. Hello from Montreal. Hi. Some of the connective flights are so ridiculously close that if you were to travel with grandparents, they almost can't make it. Yeah, you have to, it's like you have to, if you're going to travel with somebody slow, you have to like have a wheelchair or one of those little electric cars waiting for you so you don't miss anything. I think though that I'd rather have a close connecting flight than a really long one. I've had the like 6-hour layovers before, and it's so not fun. It's really, really not fun. You pretty much need to test to travel within Europe, if not vaccinated or recovered. You have to test, but you don't need PCRs, so you just need a quick test, which is a big difference. You look so pretty with long hair. Thank you. It's at the length now where I'm like, yes, I feel Mariah's power is coming back to her after she chopped off all her hair. So we've just been spending time with the kids. Yeah, long layovers with kids are bad, 100%. They're really, really not fun. We've just been spending time with the family, which has been nice, and it's such an intense experience to travel with 3 kids alone and everything, and I felt the last couple days really burned out and kind of just emotionally drained. So, people are always like, oh, are you so happy to be back? It's like, yes, and it's hard to feel anything but tired. But we slept really well last night, so yeah, I've been like really happy. I got to meet my godson. I got to meet my niece and my nephew, and everybody got to meet Isaac, which is like so great. And it's it's one thing to meet them, but then also you stay long enough for everyone to get to know each other. The hardest part about like meeting my niece and nephew is like knowing they don't know me. Sure, we FaceTime and Skype, but they don't really know me, and just allowing enough time for them to kind of get comfortable with you and then like you and then want to be with you. So I'm excited to spend some time here. I'd say for me 2-3 hour layovers are the best. Yes, just in case you need to go through security again, take buses. Yeah, I agree. 2-3 hours is like primo. Because also I'm like, oh, I could stop and look at this, or oh, I'll shop here if I want. Hello from Cologne. Cologne. Is it Cologne? Cologne? Hello, Cologne. Thanks for tuning in. So we go down to San Diego over the weekend. We'll be there for a couple days, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the beach. I really, really am. My kids are bilingual. That's cool. I've always wondered how they find speaking English. It's interesting. Like every trip is different because they're always changing, because they're younger and then they're older and they're always hitting different phases in life. So every trip's a little bit different. And this trip, I've noticed that they're speaking a lot of English, and then every now and then they switch over to Slovene, and they're just, and like Olivia and Leia. Isaac is a mix of everything, but Olivia and Leia will be in it's almost, what's funny? It's almost like when they start fighting about something, then they switch over into Slovene. They fight in Slovene. So yeah, that's kind of what I've noticed. Or when they have, like when their emotions are really high and they're explaining things, sometimes they switch over into Slovene. So, yeah, and then Olivia's been doing some schoolwork while she's here, and so while she's doing schoolwork, we'll usually talk in Slovene. Just so that it's a little easier, because there have been previous visits where she was here, we were all speaking English, everybody's speaking English, don't really speak any Slovene, and then coming back is kind of hard to get back into Slovene. So it's good to keep a little bit of Slovene going while we're here so that it's not difficult for them going back. But yeah, their English is not a problem at all. I'm trying to think if there's... No, every now and then Oh, somebody said to Olivia today, now you'll be all bedazzled. She said, what does that mean? So there's definitely words or things, expressions they don't understand, but they just ask, what does that mean? And then when somebody explains it, it's fine for them. So it's nice. They're at an age now where they're really competent in their communication, which is great. It's great. Okay. Do any of the rest of your family know any Slovene? Not at all. Like, not even a little. They know Živja, they know Dober dan, maybe Dober tek, maybe. My sister Mimi. So when you say, like, when somebody says, I guess it's that's right, is takoya. So somebody would ask you, are you drinking aloe? And say takoya, like, or, yes, I am. Like, that's right. So, or when the way you use it with kids the most often is when you ask them to do something. Here, put your plate here, and then when they put it, taco. And my sister Mimi started saying, taco. Are you my little taco girl? And I was like, no, but okay, it's very cute and funny. Hvala, maybe some people know. So it's such a difficult and complicated language. I don't expect anyone to know it. I mean, just knowing how difficult it's been for me having lived there for 10 years, I expect nothing. If Duolingo would get with a program and put a Slovenian program on there, oh my gosh, I would love that. I would love that so much. It would be so great. I'm learning Latin right now on Duolingo. I'm almost halfway through. Latin's just such a... You know what's crazy? This is the crazy thing. Slovenian is like a Slavic language, right? But it doesn't really sound Slavic. Oh, did he sleep in the car? Yeah. Oh, so cute. Oh, so sleepy. So it's a Slavic language, but it doesn't really sound Slavic. Like Russian obviously sounds very Slavic. All these various languages. But Slovene never sounded like anything in particular to me. And now that I know Slovene pretty okay, and I'm learning Latin, there's so many similarities. It's very, I don't know, maybe not everybody would see this, but I was like, oh wow, I can see a lot of crossovers.
I took
Slovenian.
Latin.
What?
I took Latin.
That's right. How much Latin do you know? Did you know?
2 years worth.
Oh, 2 years?
Yeah.
So you were pretty okay with it?
Yeah.
Could you like actually say anything? Like, could you, like if somebody were to say
well, Latin's not a speaking language. It's mainly for understanding other languages, and then also what's cool is you'll watch like old like Greek movies and stuff, and they'll have like phrases. The most common is like vini vidi vici.
Right.
And so it was more about understanding. It helped me understand how to learn another language.
Yeah. Interesting. It's interesting, the more languages you learn, the more you realize English is kind of
Very
not like anything else. Yeah. It's like, I feel English is easy to learn how to speak, but it's really difficult to read and write.
And understand.
Well, it's also backwards from pretty much every other language. Like every other language, you'll say, just the structure is kind of similar.
You guys got any Ingreds?
Yeah. All right. I guess that's it for me. Looking good. Thank you. You should try U-Talk. It has Slovenian. Oh my gosh. I'll try that. I was trying one that was like Q-Lango, and it has Slovenian.
I still have them to buy like 5 dresses for you guys' wedding.
I don't
try
know
them
why I
all on
stopped.
Return 4.
I should try. I just think like certain apps, the interface is just not pleasant to use, or the lessons, whatever, are not pleasant to use. I don't know. I should try that again. Anyway, okay. So now you know a little bit of how I got here. We fly out on Mother's Day, American Mother's Day. And yeah, we're doing a lot of traveling around, driving while we're here. So it's good. It's also just intense. I think even if the kids do sleep through the night, I probably still only feel rested if I go to bed at 8 o'clock, just because the days are so intense. So, okay. Intense, but good. Very good. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking out. I'm like, where do I end this? Oh, that's where I ended. Okay. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to my story. I appreciate it. So it's really like not spur of the moment. I kind of planned it, but obviously it's not so planned out. Enjoy the rest of your stay. Thank you. I will do my best. And yeah, like as much as I want to make videos while I'm here, and I really do, and I think about it all the time, traveling alone with 3 kids is just like, when? I can barely, like, I brought a very thin book. It's not going to get read at all. So, yeah. I'll probably, I have a bunch of like pictures and videos I'm taking of the trip, so probably when I come back, I might make like, here was my trip in California type video.
What did we steal?
Anyway, thanks for everybody who hung out and stuck around for this video, and people who just stuck around despite me being not regularly uploading. That's what I'll say. Someone says, I think English would be the easiest foreign language to learn on the basic speaking level. I don't know, because I'm not an English second language person, but I've known quite a bit of... I think the reason why English is easy to pick up is because of the movies, because pretty much everybody's seen movies in English, and it's just so present everywhere you go. I feel like you pick up a lot of it anyway. I don't know. That's my... Anyways, that's the end of my thoughts. That's the last thought I have. Thanks. See you later. Bye.